Chapter 1. Introduction. To be called and elected. Brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall. 2 Peter 1:10. The terms called and elected have a variety of definitions. Many men may be called to the service of their country, but not all will qualify for that election. Out of the multitude called into the military service, only a few are elected or qualified to be offices. Job positions may be open to a multitude of people, but only a few are chosen or elected. Again, some men are called to the candidacy as President of the United States, but only a few are ever elected to that office and calling. Most callings by the Lord, however, have their foundation in the pre-existence. These callings follow us through mortality and continue through the resurrection. Parley P. Pratt defined the pre-existent nature of some of these God-given callings. I do not take up the subject in the middle of it, like the natural man who knows little of the past or future, and who judges by the things present before his eyes. Such a one might suppose that it so happened that Abraham came along, and was picked up without any particular reference to the past, or to eternal principles, and was elected to office. That it might just as well have been somebody else instead of him. But instead of this, he was chosen before the world was, and came into the world for the very purpose which he fulfilled. But, notwithstanding this pre-election and passing the veil, and entering a tabernacle of flesh, he became a little child, forgot all he had once known in the heavens, and commenced anew to receive intelligence in this world, as is the case with all. He therefore was necessitated to come up by degrees, receive an experience, be tried and proved. And when he had been sufficiently proved according to the flesh, the Lord manifested to him the election before exercised towards him in the eternal world. He then renewed that election and covenant, and blessed him, and his seed after him. J.D. 1 258-59. The Apostle Peter also referred to this pre-election when he wrote to the elect, according to the foreknowledge of God. I Peter 1:2. Alma also said that priests who were after the holy order were called and prepared from the foundation of the world, according to the foreknowledge of God. Alma 13:3. Paul told members of the church that they had been called to be saints, Rom 1:7, and called unto the fellowship of Jesus Christ. 1 Cor 1:9. The Lord also confirmed this calling to missionaries when he said, Whosoever will thrust in his sickle and reap, the same is called of God. D&C 11:4, and they were called of God in the church unto the ministry. D&C 84-86. He also said there were many whom I have called and sent forth to build up my church. D&C 84-32. Joseph Smith and Oliver Cowdery were called and ordained even as Aaron, D&C 27:8, by John the Baptist. Frederick G. Williams was called to be a high priest, D&C 81:1, while others were called to the office of a bishop. D&C 72:5. An appointment was similar to a calling, for the president of the church was appointed to receive commandments and revelations in this church. See D&C 28:2 and 102:9. Other members of the church were appointed to stewardships, D&C 104:32, which included spiritual things and temporal things. D&C 70:12. It is apparent that many were called, but only a few were chosen or elected to heed the call, or to remain faithful to it. When Joseph lost the first 116 pages of the Book of Mormon manuscript, the Lord said to him, Thou wast chosen to do the work of the Lord... and thou art still chosen, and art again called to the work. D&C 3:9-10. At a future time someone called of God will attempt to steady the ark of God, see D&C 85:8, but he would be smitten from his calling. The Lord gave a revelation directing the elders whom he hath called and chosen to go to the remnant of Jacob, D&C 52:1, because Jacob's was a chosen nation. Yet out of this great number of people who were called, only a few would prove worthy of becoming the elect or chosen. Elder Bruce R. McConkie aptly describes these chosen and elected. The elect of God comprise a very select group, an inner circle of faithful members of the church. They are the portion of church members who are striving with all their hearts to keep the fullness of the gospel law in this life, so that they can become inheritors of the fullness of gospel rewards in the life to come. Mormon Doctrine, page 217. The fullness of the gospel refers to all of the laws and commandments of God. The Lord said that the scriptures were given for the salvation of mine own elect, for they will hear my voice, and shall see me. D&C 35:20-21. The principal object of the missionary net was firstly to gather fish of all kinds, and then to choose and gather out the best fish. The Lord said, Ye are called to bring to pass the gathering of mine elect, for mine elect hear by voice, and harden not their hearts. D&C 29:7. The gospel serves as a test by which the Lord can appoint man to the resurrection of the just or resurrection of the unjust. All men will be appointed unto one or the other of these two resurrections. Some will be appointed angels in heaven, which angels are ministering servants, to minister for those who are worthy of a far more, and an exceeding, and an eternal weight of glory, D&C 132:16, or to be among the elect who will be appointed or elected to be gods, because they have all power, and the angels are subject unto them, D&C 132:20. The Apostle Orson Hyde describes the course these elect must follow to become gods. The chosen vessels unto God are the kings and priests that are placed at the head of these kingdoms. These have received their washings and anointings in the time of God on this earth. They have been chosen, ordained, and anointed kings and priests, to reign as such in the resurrection of the just. Such as have not received the fullness of the priesthood, and have not been anointed and ordained in the temple of the Most High, may obtain salvation in the celestial kingdom, but not a celestial crown. Many are called to enjoy a celestial glory, yet few are chosen to wear a celestial crown, or rather, to be rulers in the celestial kingdom. Mill. Star 923-24. The rest of this book describes and outlines the pathway leading to one's calling and election, and how the elect can make it sure.